Good evening and welcome to the second episode of That's the Spirit, which is coming live to you on our Light and Harmony one page. Thank you for joining us. And after the first week where we had over 2,000 people watching the live feed and replays, we've been truly blown away. This week's show is another action-packed spiritual adventure. And I'm really blessed to have Swami Aliyananda Paramahansa, who will be discussing Kriya Yoga, meditation, and spirituality and where it all crosses over. We'll also be undertaking a Kriya Yoga meditation later on in the show. And as always, a shameless plug for us to raise money for the Light and Harmony Foundation, which has been set up to create a spiritual college and wellness centre here in South Wales. If you would like to donate £3 to the foundation, the link is on the side. That would be amazing. Thank you. And of course, if you make the donation later on, we'll be selecting one lucky person to have a one-card reading. You already know that the viewers are the star of the show, so please feel free to say hello in the box. And already we have lots of comments coming in. Tell us where you're from, and if you can like and share this as well onto other pages so we can get more people coming along, that would be great. We'll highlight the comments a little bit later on, and we'll be having a question and answer session with our very special guest. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest this evening, Swami Aliyananda Paramahansa. Swami was the founder of the World Peace Mission in 2003. She's an author, a lecturer, a direct authentic teacher of sacred wisdom, and the leader of workshops in Kriya Yoga. Without further ado, I would like to call on our special guest this evening and welcome Swami to That's the Spirit.
That's so kind of you, Julian. It's lovely to be with you and everybody that's looking in tonight.
Well, I tell you, yeah, well, this technology is only the second week for me, and I was quite impressed with the introduction and that I managed to click the right buttons at the right time. But thank you for coming on. I do appreciate it. As I said, we've got lots of viewers as well. You remember Melody from Arthur Finney? She's saying hello from Florida. Of course, we've got the wonderful Reverend Linda Rausch. She's saying hello. There's lots of people here already, which is fantastic. So we'll keep flipping them in. We'll keep flipping them all in. But first of all, I'd like to have a chat with yourself, really. And we met very briefly at Arthur Finney. But I have to say, and you said it as well, I just felt that I've known you for a long time and I haven't. And I felt very comfortable having a conversation with you. So when I was talking to the Reverend about the next guest, your name came up, pretty high up the list there straight away. And we said, look, we'd like to get you on and talk about the things that you do, because I know that you did some workshops on the other course that there was Arthur Finney that week. And they all said that you were the highlight of the course. You said you're amazing. The things you did were absolutely outstanding. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us then a little bit about Kriya Yoga and where it fits in and how you sort of, made it all fit within a spirituality course.
Well, I live my life with spirituality as well. I have both going on. I've been married for 46 years, 3 children. My husband has a business. The children are in the business, but I live and I have my workshops. I've traveled to India. I found my guru, all these things, and my family as well. And I find it's very important, I think, to have it all all together, Julian. I think that family is a very spiritual thing and a very growing thing. And I think to have a spiritual life in a family is very important.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I also think that sometimes, social media, I think, is making us a little bit unsociable. And I have to be careful based on this whole program's on Facebook. So it has its massive benefits as well. But are you sort of an advocate then about spending that quality time with your family, whether that's a Sunday dinner or putting the phone down when you're having some food, or just being mindful of each other, I suppose?
Absolutely. Because they're your greatest teachers, really. Because the point of it is, like you said about love and harmony, is changing yourself, and the family are our greatest place to change. If you've got anything going on in yourself, they press the button, and they're our greatest teachers. And we have to find that harmony within ourselves, love and harmony, and realize that the mother is the hub of the family.
And we spoke about, just briefly before we come on air about your spiritual journey and
Hmm.
and when you went to meet the Dalai Lama, etc.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit, where the name or how your name originated
yes.
and how you found, everybody on your journey.
Well, I was 35 and I had a dream. You talk about connecting to the inner planes and connecting when you do your at the Arthur Finley and being trained for your mediumship. I had this profound dream, and it's a similar sort of thing in a way. I contacted this being in a dream, and from that, I wanted to find him in the world. Took me 12 years to find him, and then from there, he taught me Kriya Yoga. I went back many times to India to his ashram. And then in 2003, he took me with a group to Badrinath, which is a holy place right up in the Himalayas on the border of China. And coming home, we were saying goodbye to the Indian group, and he said, Elizabeth, I was Elizabeth then, has a world peace mission. And I am a mother living in Cornwall with 3 children. I mean, Elizabeth has a world peace mission. I thought, well, this is very strange. But anyway, he said, I'm going to take you to see the Dalai Lama to talk about it. So he asked this very nice man to make the appointment, and the following year we went. And I had to talk to the Dalai Lama about it. And really I talked about, when you, through meditation and through Kriya Yoga, you go inside. Babaji used to say, go inside, go inside. And you go inside in meditation, you come behind the eyes, you come inside your heart, you come inside your body, and you find that light within you, your soul light. And when you do your mediumship, that soul light that leaves the body at death, going into the other realms. Kriya Yoga actually is very much about training you in the divine breath to contact your soul, that at death you arise from your body and go to the inner planes. And through mediumship, you as a medium contact souls from the other plane to come and speak through you. You connect with them when they speak with you. I found that a wonderfully interesting thing. I'd never been to Arthur Finley before. I've not been with mediums before. And I found that all the training I've had with Kriya Yoga, I could understand exactly what you were talking about.
Well, I run a spiritual development group on a Monday.
Yes.
There's a lot of people in here tonight who come to that group, and one of the things that I learned from Arthur Finley, and specifically trying to create a better connection with spirit, was about creating that space, finding that
Yes.
soul self, really connecting with your heart center, and
Yes.
then creating that space where, if you like, you put your human to the one side,
Yes.
and then you can really enhance your connection with spirit, which is truly amazing.
It's amazing because in Kriya Yoga, when you connect with your soul, and then you go to the Supreme Soul, you go to the creator of everything. I call it God. I'm happy to call it God. Some people call it Spirit or Supreme Soul. I love Supreme Soul. And then also in that, in connecting with that, you connect with every other living being, all nature, and you find that connectedness, and it helps bring harmony and peace into your life.
No, and it is wonderful. And how did you feel when you were working with mediums and doing a bit of Kriya Yoga and the meditation, which I was told was incredible. The feelings that they had in terms of opening themselves up. How did you find working with mediums? And because what you said just before my last question and the way you described it, really, you could have been a spiritual teacher teaching mediumship.
Mm. Well, um, I found them wonderful. I found everybody was lovely because they were all very loving and kind. And I've been teaching actually for a long time now. And, people read books, They want to do all these things. But actually, Julian, the greatest thing is to be loving and kind. It's such a simple thing. And I think we learn this with family. We learn this with meeting our friends. We learn this with life. We need to change. My strapline for my world peace mission is change yourself, change the world, peace in the heart, peace in the home.
That's just fantastic.
Kriya Yoga, yeah, it's fabulous because Kriya Yoga changes you because you breathe with everything.
It's when I keep harping on about it, and people, I don't want them to turn off when I keep talking about the week, but the week was such a transformation for me in many ways. And you know, the people that know me, I hadn't had any channeling from my spirit guide. I knew who he was, I was aware of his name, but since we've come back, some of the things that have happened to me have just been crazy, really, showing me which tribe he is in, finding him, finding pictures of him, channeling through me, of all of these things. And the one thing that he always goes on about now is that the two principles that I need to live my life by is be love and give love, and then
Yes.
provide evidence of eternal love. And the first part is obviously loving myself and you know, having that respect and love for me, then being able to pass that love on to other people in everything that we do, every touch point, every contact, everything else. And then through our mediumship skills, being able to provide the evidence when we give real, strong, perfect evidence that these people, these loved ones, these colleagues, these friends are connecting with them through spirit, which allows us then to realize is that there's no way in the world that Julian Jenkins could have known that piece of information about my mother, my father, my grandfather. And that feeling when that happens is special. And I think, you know, that for me is where things are going, and that connection and that creating that space through meditation and yoga is key, really.
Yeah, I think so too. It's the key thing. Talk to me again, Julian. It was lovely what you just said. It was just fantastic. I love hearing that because it's so important to get that huge connection.
Yeah, and the Reverend Linda Roche said last week, and it's something I've used, and I actually did a charity evening on Friday where we raised just, I think, nearly £700 for cancer charity. For it was an evening of clairvoyance with myself and another gentleman, and there was a message that I gave, and it was funny because when I was in church doing the readings, this young lad, spiritual lad, come from the left hand side of me and said, "I'm off," and he just walked down the middle of the church and left. And when I went back, we had a break, and when I went back in the break and I sat down, and I said to the lad Brian, who was doing the service with me, and he said, I said, "Julie, I just had it. He's just walked out." I said, "I need to go back in and reconnect." So we went back in and reconnected, and I had this young lad come through. And the lady who the message was for was exactly where the lad started walking from. And it was a very powerful message about a young lad who passed away in a car crash, etc., etc. And there was tears everywhere, and the connection was amazing, and the evidence was fantastic. And I remembered that Reverend Linda Rausch said last week is that some people come to church for messages and readings and all the rest of it. And how do we grow this, you know, spiritual organization, spiritualism and movement? And I stopped in the middle of it all and I said, look, I just want 2 seconds not to stand up here and preach. But I was told last week that one of the greatest gifts of all of this is being with spirit. And every single person in that room, you could see in their faces, for those moments of when we connected with the lady, with her son, etc., were with spirit. And that was just mind blowing. That really was mind blowing. And I think all of the things you talk about, peace and love and all of those things, you know, really all sort of knit really well together. And it is a real great pleasure to have finally gotten to have a chat with you and expand those things. So, you know, how do you think then we can sort of knit the Kriya Yoga and mediumship a little, that little bit closer?
Well, I was interested what you were saying because what I found is that through Kriya Yoga, um, it opens all the abilities within you. For example, um, I when I go to church and I go to a funeral, I think many people have this quality that they can see the soul leaving, and in that service there's a wonderful thing that happens, that through that wonderful service and the prayers and the singing, at a certain time this column of light comes into the church and the Lord Christ and all the angels come and the soul goes through that wonderful service. Singing, prayer, and all these things are very important to aid the soul leave the body. It's very important to have a good service when they die. The other thing was, another interesting thing happened with my husband's aunt. She passed away, and when I closed my eyes, I saw her soul standing by her bed in the hospital. So I held her hand and we walked up this, in my vision, we walked up this path of light, and her little dog came to her because it's very alive on the other side. And she picked up this little dog because she loved this little dog. And then before her opened up Glencoe, where she was born. And my mother-in-law, my father-in-law came to meet her, and she went beyond the veil. And the neighbours, when I saw them later on in the evening, they said, well, her dying wish was to have her ashes scattered in Glencoe. So she went home. And this I feel, and like you're giving people evidence of deathlessness. My master Babaji is a deathless saint. He's lived in the Himalayas in his deathless body for thousands of years, overseeing this world. And this is what humanity needs to know, that we are deathless, immortal beings living a human life. And we are here to love one another and to help one another, whether we're dead or whether we're in the body or out of the body, that we can really break that fear of death and help humanity to live their lives happily. Because as we live, actually, Julian, as we live and as we are in our lives, the attitude we have will make our tomorrows and will make our death and make our life on the other plane. It's a truth. So we must be good and kind. People might think, oh, that's, a threat or whatever, but no. As we sow, we reap. And as we are, so we're opening the veil, we're opening into the next realm. And we are then drawn in the vibrational level of our love and kindness that we have here to the level in the next realm. And for me, that makes sense.
It makes massive sense. Excuse me for coughing, but
that's all right.
I think it is all of these things that we talk about and discuss. They really do, for me anyway, and they have done even more so over the last couple of months. Really sort of made me think differently and made me act differently and made me be a little bit different. Be a little bit more compassionate. Yeah, be a little bit more compassionate. Be a little bit more empathetic.
Be compassionate.
Yeah,
think about others. It's not, you know. I think, unfortunately, it's become clever. It's become very fashionable to be aggressive and selfish, really, and I think it's such a pity.
No, I agree with you. We got some great comments coming in already from people who are there. We're going to have some questions in about 5 minutes. So if you've got any questions for Swami, then just pop them in, and we'll ask them as we go. But just to know that there's Melanie is listening from Benidorm. She says hi. I think Melanie was on your course, actually, Swami. I think Melody's there. We got Amber, we got Andrea, we got Jackie, we got Jackie. We've got people listening from Florida. We've got people, I know Chris is on holidays in Curaçao. So there's lots of people from all over the world watching this show, which is truly amazing. But tell me a little bit, That's the Spirit isn't just about mediumship. It isn't, we seem to have lost Swami. That's disappointing. I'll just carry on anyway while we're going, and hopefully she will. Hopefully we can get her back on air. It's nothing a little technical difficulty can't handle. But when I'm talking about these things, and we'll go to a little bit more comments. If you have any questions about what we've already discussed, or any questions for myself, please pop them in there now, and we can and we can answer some of those questions as we go, and hopefully we can get Swami back. But I think what Swami was saying was so important about, you know, spending more quality time with our family, spending more time together mindfully, and working, you know, our spiritual lives that much better and harder, if you like. And you know, I think it's hugely important that we do that. And that's coming from somebody who ordinarily, if you'd have asked somebody a question 5 years ago, may not have given you the same answer that I'm giving you today. But you know, that was certainly the case. And you know, some of the people that leaving their comments in the comments box there, I know them and we've worked with them. I know Jackie came to the spiritual development group for the first time on Monday, and she was saying, you know, the moments when we were doing the readings, they were so truly heartwarming, and she could feel the warmth of the young man, and that was wow. And that's what sometimes spirituality is about, isn't it? You know, creating those moments where we're with spirit and we can enjoy spirit and embrace spirit. And I think they're really, really, really important. So if you have any questions for me, if we've lost Swami, I don't know whether we can get her back, but hopefully she will click the links again and come back in. But if there's any questions from myself, or if anybody would like to come on the show, we can try some crazy things and get them on if they would like to come on and have a conversation with us as well. There is that opportunity. But we were going to do a questions and answer session at 9:25, and unfortunately, if we can't get Swami back, then you've got a questions and answer session with me, which may not be as popular or as successful or as interesting. But unfortunately, at the moment, you are all I have got. So we'll also, a little bit later on, we're going to go into a meditation. We're also going to go into a card reading. So if you made a donation to the on the link there to the Spiritual Light and Harmony Wellness Foundation, then once we get on a little bit later on, if you can pop in that you've paid, and then we can select the card, and we'll do that for you as well. So just while we're spinning here, and hopefully we can get Swami back, does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask? I know Luke Perry's come in here, Liam Bryan's come in here as well, and Zaid as well. I know Zaid because she works with us, and so does Liam. So if you have any questions of me, or you'd like to ask anything, you know, please feel free. And if we can't get Swami back, we'll do our own meditation like we did last week. And after your thought process of trying to put something up on the screen rather than seeing me, I've also bought we've designed a slide which is going to say meditation in progress. So hopefully that will work as well. So if you have any questions or anything like that, just feel free to pop them in. I want to give you an update as well while we're here about the Spiritual Light and Harmony Wellness Center and College. And that is very much when I went to a place called Llantwit Major, which I was shown a couple of years ago, and I went back recently. We've actually found somewhere where there is a wonderful spiritual place that we may be able to do some learning and some college and some wellness there. So in the last 7 days since the last one, although we're going to raise our money to try and build our own wellness center, there certainly is something there in Llantwit Major at the moment that we could use, and certainly something that would be very much fit for purpose to bring us all together and do that. I know we've got some stuff. Amber J, I'll catch up on the meditation later. She's still sat in work. Jackie Williams says it's so important to walk in someone else's shoes, as that's the only way we can learn and emphasize and empathize. I think that's so true as well. You know, empathy is something that, you know, do we all practice it enough? Is it is it how do we become more empathetic when we're being tied down and strained by, you know, life, work, and everything else that goes with that? So that's a little bit difficult, but we'll see whether we can get some people on, if there is an opportunity. I'll see what we can do for you. If you have any questions, you know, please feel free to pop them into the the comment section there, and I'll try and answer them for you, and I'll see whether I can get somebody on for us. That would be interesting. To see what we can do, because at the moment it does seem as if we've lost Swami altogether, which is a bit of a shame. So we have 21 viewers in at the moment. I just want to I'll talk a little bit, if I can, about what Swami said in terms of the meditation and creating the space. And I don't know how many people in the audience at the moment are looking just to live spiritually and have spiritualism within their lives, or whether they're actually looking to develop themselves spiritually, whether that through psychic or mediumship or whatever that may be. So, one of the things that Swami was saying is about creating that space. And I think, for me, certainly it is about creating a space whereby you can allow spirit to fill it. So just to give you an example, when I'm up on the rostrum, or when I'm doing some mediumship, I certainly try to create this space whereby spirit can fill it. And I also try and leave my human, as we're calling it, to one side. And we worked a little bit on psychic work last Monday in the spiritual development group, and it was interesting watching people being able to put the person in front of them in the mind's eye, and then being able to read them psychically. And I actually saw that one lady, she struggled a little bit, and I knew why, because she took them down from the mind's eye and started looking at them through a human again. And you could actually see that the difference with that. And I think that was important, but that's a lot to do with mindset. That's a lot to do with meditation. That's a lot about creating the space for spirit to fill. And one of the techniques that when we were working with Tony Stockwell, he was talking about, even sometimes when we're struggling for things, they will never let you down. So if you haven't got anything and you're doing a mediumship reading and you haven't got anything and there's a void, why not turn around and say, and what spirit are telling me is, and just go quiet. Now that's a brave thing to do, because you might be stood up there and you might not get anything. But actually the reality of the situation is they won't leave you standing, and they will come up with something. And it's, spirits are making me feel like, and they will make you feel that way. Spirit are bringing through somebody who is, and they will make you feel that way. There's a lot of processes and a lot of things you need to do before that, before you can actually, get that mindset and get that opening and get that connection and get that trust, etc., etc. But it certainly is very interesting listening to other mediums and other people who are practicing, etc., etc. If there is anybody who would like to jump on, because as I said, unfortunately we've lost our star guest, please feel free to do so. I'll tell you what I will do. I don't know how I do this, but if I flip a link up, anyone can see that link, or they'd like to come on, then please feel free. We can do that, or there's an opportunity for you to come on live, okay? And we'll get you up and we'll get you talking. So any questions? Anybody want to ask any questions? If not, I think probably what we'll do is we'll go into the guided meditation. It was going to be a Kriya yoga meditation, but as I said, unfortunately, we seem to have lost our link to Penzance, unfortunately. So what we'll do is I think we'll go straight into the guided meditation, as I think it really worked well last week, and a lot of people are telling me that they enjoyed it. We are going to try through the wonders of technology, maybe not this week, but certainly for the weeks going forward, to try and get some music to go with it. All right. But this week's meditation we're going to work on is very similar to the last one, okay, because it works. We're going to do the woodland meditation, and we're going to go and sit on a bench. So for everybody who's here now, and I know at the moment there are quite a few people in the room who are waiting to do the meditation. So I'd like you to sit comfortably if we can. So get yourself comfortable. And as I said before, it's probably not happening, but I'm going to give it so I don't get sued. If you are driving, or if you are doing anything that requires your full attention, I suggest that you stop now. So if you are listening to this and you're driving a train, it's probably not best to do the meditation. But if you're not and you're sitting comfortably, then please feel free to get yourself comfortable. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip up as Andrea told me I should do, is I'm going to flip up a little slide that will have just meditation in progress, which I won't put you off then. Okay, so we're going to flip up the slide, but you should hear my voice. So I want you to sit very comfortable. And as we sit here in the chair, I just want you to Just take a deep breath in and just hold it for a few seconds and then breathe out. And as we breathe out, I just want us to become more and more relaxed, more and more comfortable. We'll take another deep breath in. If we can hold it there, and as we breathe out, we feel all of the stresses and strains of today just drifting away. And in your mind's eye, this is where your imagination is. If you can just imagine that you and I are sat on a bench outside a wonderful cottage in a wonderful woodland with the trees around us. You can hear the birds in the trees. You can feel the sunlight on your face. You can smell the wonderful mint, the flowers, the fresh water. And as we sit here, we feel completely relaxed. We feel very comfortable, completely safe, completely happy. Now I'm going to take your hand and we're going to go for a walk. And as we stand up and we walk through the gate, we start looking towards this lovely path. It's a beautiful path with wild animals running around freely. You can hear the river to the left of you. Again, you can smell the wonderful flowers. You can hear the bird in the trees. And importantly, you can feel the sunlight on your face. It is making you very, very relaxed, very comfortable, feeling very safe and very secure. As we walk along that pathway, we find our rhythmic breathing, our natural breathing as we breathe in and out. And we look up and we see this wonderful clearing with the light beaming through the trees and a beautiful park bench. As we walk up to the bench, we slowly sit down. We breathe in because we feel more and more relaxed. This is a place where you feel safe and secure. This is a place where you can call home. And as you sit there now with the sun beaming on your face, I'm going to leave you here for a while. And just invite those people in to come and sit next to you. And spend time with yourself, connected to the spirit world. I shall see you shortly. And as you sat there, or wherever you are, you see me appear. We take a deep breath, we have a look around, and we appreciate the time we've spent, the time we enjoyed, the time during the meditation. And we look back along the pathway, the beautiful trees, with the birds, the nature, the smells, the sunlight on our face, the feeling of total relaxation, the feeling of calm, the feeling of being re-energized. And we walk to the gate, through the gate, and we sit back on the bench. And if you want to know, open your eyes, wiggle your fingers, move your feet, and come back into the room. I hope that worked. Andrea said, you made me jump. She was drifting off. Well, you shouldn't be. You should fall awake, not fall asleep. That's the right way to say it. We have got, by the miracles and the wonders of modern technology, Swami is back. So I'm going to try and flip her back into the hot seat. So bear with me a second. And if you could put in the comments if you liked the meditation, if you enjoyed it. I'm sure that some of you would have stayed with it. Some of you wouldn't have been able to. But in the main, I hope you enjoy it. Swami, you are back.
I know, darling. Well, my dear friend Wendy, we did it. We got back to you. I'm very disappointed that happened. I don't know what happened, but
it's technology is a wonderful thing when it works,
yes.
and it's not so good when it doesn't.
And I'm sorry I missed your meditation. It sounded lovely. But
it's okay, no worries.
Yeah.
We I tell you what we'll do, because we can do it and we're in charge here. We'll flip into the questions and answer session, because
lovely.
Before you went, some people were just starting to ask some questions.
Yes.
One of the questions is from Jackie Williams. She says, what's the difference between all the yogas? I thought yoga was yoga.
Yoga means union with God.
Yeah.
And some yogas, well, a lot of yoga has postures, physical postures, which are very good for the body, and they keep you in a certain positions for meditation and things like that. But I'm not good at yoga. I'm getting a bit too old now. Not that I should say that, but I'm not so good at yoga. So I do actually sit in a chair, which is very comfortable. And for a lot of Western people, it's very comfortable. And as Kriya Yoga, the one I teach, is to do with the breath. There are 5 breaths I teach. And so it's not postures, it's not sitting on the floor with lots of postures. It's through the breath that we get the yogic breath and union with God.
I just and that I love it. It is absolutely fantastic, and it's one of the things I'm just flipping through here now, and some of the questions. Melanie Leahy says, Swami, to be the true soul on this plane that my soul so craves, it's so difficult in this world. Thank you for trying to heal me, Melanie.
Darling,
it's fantastic.
my love. Send her my love.
Well, she can hear you, which is fantastic now, because she couldn't 5 minutes ago. Another question coming in from Jackie. Swami, what was it like meeting the Dalai Lama?
It was wonderful meeting him, and there were 7 of us that went. We had an hour with him, and he's so lovely. I know I use the word ordinary, which of course he's not, but he's extraordinary ordinary. And he's very unpretentious, but very loving and very lovely. And we sat with him and Babaji. My husband went, and some students of Babaji's went, some disciples of his. And as I said, it was 7. And before I went in, I said to Babaji, well, because it was only a few months later, I don't know what to say about a world peace mission. I mean, I can't think what to say. I don't understand it. I didn't understand what that was all about. It's taking me all my time now to understand, because the divine gradually unfolds. It gradually takes you on a journey, like the journey that's brought you here, Julian,
Mhm.
and the journey that's brought me here. But I said to Babaji, well, you talk to the Dalai Lama. I don't know what to say. So we're sitting in with the Dalai Lama. I'm sitting there and I'm feeling quite comfortable. It's very pleasant. And then I hear Babaji say, and Elizabeth is now going to talk about the World Peace Mission. And the Dalai Lama, he gets up on his chair. He sits forward on the edge of his chair, puts his hands on his lap or on his legs, like he does, and gives me his full attention. I thought, oh my goodness me. So I open to the divine words. I can't work in any other way. And I talked about synchronicity, the divine plan, this divine river that flows through the whole of creative power is like a divine river, I feel. And through Kriya Yoga, we start to breathe with that divine river. In that divine river, there are people being born, people dying, people in other levels, people in other realms. Plants are growing, the rivers are running, the whole of creation, the sun is shining, the moon is glowing, the stars, the moon, everything is in that creative power. And in that, synchronicity happens. Like, why are we here together? Why was it I was asked to the Arthur Findlay College? Why did we meet? What is it that the divine plan has for you to start this marvelous center? And so we're all here together. And the more that we become in harmony and light, then we get into that, and then that is the World Peace Mission, because we find peace in that. And so that's why we're here together. And it's a divine plan. The World Peace Mission is a divine plan that we have to awaken to within us. Peace in yourself, peace in our hearts, peace in our minds. And then we are the World Peace Mission.
Well, I tell you what, that was wonderful. I feel like saying amen at the end of that.
Yeah.
That was truly wonderful. Truly wonderful.
So that's what I
And
said.
I'm glad Spirit managed to get your iPad to work again, because that just for that 3 minutes, it was worth me panicking for 10 minutes. So that was great.
Yes.
I'm just going to flip back, because we did
Yes.
the meditation before you come in. I just want to read
Yes.
some of the comments, and it just goes to show you the power, doesn't it, of this is the meditation that we just did. So
Yes.
we've got here that I made somebody jump when I brought them back, but then somebody said, Kerry said it absolutely worked. Simon Tipple said he liked that. Jackie Williams, give us a thumbs up. Melody Lepore Ben from Miami, she enjoyed the meditation. Kerry Palmer said, so emotional for me. She was with her nan.
Oh.
Chris Palmer said, a wonderful meditation.
Oh.
Jackie Williams said she sat with her mum for a wee while, which is just
Oh.
wonderful. It's amazing who joined you on that bench.
Yes, it is.
Catherine, she loved it. Zaid Campbell Davis says, I'm not sure how you took me to a place with my lovely nan for so long and so clearly, but thank you. Jackie said she's had a very emotional day, so it helped her a lot. And there's so much more to go on. There's so much more to say. I know I've just done a meditation. Would you like to do a little meditation, Swami? Would you? Are you?
Well, I can do. I can do.
I think so, because
I do a bit of breathing with you. You can do a bit of breathing. Me.
Yeah, well, I hope everyone is breathing. But I hope that we can do it with yourself. I feel like as if I was the warm-up act for the star of the show. So I've done my little I've done my little dance and my little jig and all the rest of it.
When I see you at the Arthur Findlay, you're the star, my love. You are a shining light in the room. You're not the warm-up act. You're really lovely.
Well, do you know what? If my only vocation in life was to be your warm-up act, I'm a happy man. So I think what we'll do is because like I just done then, I flipped up a graphic. Okay, so it says we're in meditation for a number of reasons. I think people will focus easier, and I think if anybody comes in the room, That would be great as well. Just before we go in, Andrea Neal has just said you have beautiful, smiley eyes.
Well, that's kind of her. Well, it's the soul is in the eyes, you know. They
Yeah,
say that.
they do.
So
I've
and
got
the
to
light,
glasses on.
the light actually is in the eyes. The light expresses itself through the eyes.
Beautiful. So I'm going to hand over to you now. So if we said, well, let's I don't know, let's go for the full hog like we were going to. I'm in charge of this show, so I can do what I want. So so
Okay.
let's see whether we can get a sort of 5 or 6 or 7 minutes meditation.
All right.
Okay? Is that
Oh,
okay? I'm going to
lovely.
flip up the screen, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, my love. Lovely. So are we ready to go? Are we ready to go, Julian?
We are.
Lovely, darling. If you just close your eyes with me and you just go inside behind your eyes. The last person talked about the light and the eyes shining. So just gently come behind the eyes and gaze into the third eye in your forehead. As you're looking there, just realize the breath within you. Feel the rise and fall of the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. I love it when we sit on a seashore and you feel those waves just breaking. Just breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. As we feel that rise and fall, it's down around the heart area. And you feel a movement of the rise and fall. As you breathe in, you might say Om inside yourself. As you breathe out, you can say Om. Om. Resounding in the whole of creation. Feel that breath within you. And now just take your attention down into your chest, down into your heart, inside you. Come down behind the eyes. And we enter into our hearts. Imagine opening a door like a golden sun. As you enter that light within you, you smell the smell of roses, lilies, and you feel harmony. You feel peace. Your breath is calm and quiet, and your heart is full of light. Here residing within you is your soul, your unique soul. It has come from the great, great soul, the supreme soul, to live here and express its beauty, love, harmony, light. Feel the peace within you. Feel the beauty within you. We can look all over the world. We can read every book. We can go to every workshop. When we sit quietly and breathe and enter that, you are entering the kingdom of heaven within yourself. The rise and fall of your breath in peace. Hold the hand of your soul. Love your soul. Love the self within you, your divine self. Let it breathe you. We have an outer breath and an inner breath. The outer breath is excited, noisy, consumed with life. But when we go into the silence, we go into the inner peaceful breath. Gradually, gradually, your breath becomes one and your life changes. You change yourself. You change your world. It's peace in the heart and peace in the home. When you have a moment at home, just sit down and breathe inside. It's lovely to be with you today. Thank you very much. Gently come back. Gently open your eyes. Be here with us. Thank you.
Well, that was amazing. Thank you very much. I was conscious that I wanted to try it, but then I was also conscious that I've still got things to do in the background to make sure the next bit comes up. But that was just truly amazing, and it was funny because you were talking about this golden door, and before you said it, I actually seen it. It was right there
in front of you. Good.
It was there before you said it, which was a bit. I thought, well, I must be in the right room.
You're in the right room. You've got a big heart, so you've got a big door.
Thank you for that. Thank you. We got if we can put some things in the comments. How did you find that meditation? How did you like the Kriya yoga? Did it, beautiful? Thank you has already come up there from Melody Lepore Ben. Thank you very much. She said, which is lovely with two wonderful kisses, which is great. Beautiful and peaceful. Said Kerry. So, and the great thing about all of this is obviously when we're doing it live is fantastic, but you've actually got this now, guys, as a lockdown recorded session. Will always be on the page. So if you want to re-watch this bit or watch that section, if you've got another bit of time where you can listen down, that would be fantastic. Paul said, "Wow, that's amazing." Chris Palmer said, "Thank you so much, Swami. That was incredible. Very emotional. I was bathed in a pure light of love."
Fabulous.
And if we never did another show again, that is just wonderful, isn't it? She was bathed in a pure light of love.
Yeah, the light of herself.
And a true bit of Welsh here for you. Diolch.
Right.
which means thank you in Welsh.
Oh, lovely.
So I know Swami is a very proud Celt like us.
Yes.
That
Cornish
part of
woman.
the world. Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Andrew Paulson says deeply peaceful. Thank you, Swami. So there's lots of wonderful things coming through here. It's got to that stage of the night now where I asked people if they could donate and share. Obviously, we're trying to raise some funds to go towards the wellness center and trying to keep the sites going and everything else, which is fantastic. So all of those people that have liked and shared and donated, I'm going to randomly select them now. So if you can put into the comments section, I shared, that would be wonderful, and I will randomly select somebody to have a card reading. Oh, this is a wonderful one. Sean Owen said, "Thanks both. Got some answers I never knew I needed." Wow, that's fantastic. Really good. And of course, the Reverend Linda Rouse says, "Loved being in your presence," as we always love being in yours as well. So,
We do,
so
darling.
that is wonderful. So if you can put in that you've shared, and then what I'll do is I'll randomly select somebody. All right. Bear with me a second. I'm shuffling the pack. It's going to be a one card reading. Okay. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to go with Catherine, and as I said that, I dropped them all. All right. So I've got one here. Okay, so we're going to be working with Catherine if we can. Thank you for everyone who has donated. We really do appreciate it. The card that's been drawn is the Winter's End. Okay, which is in my cards. It's quite an interesting draw in there. The Winter's End, and what I want to get from that is that that there's been a lot of stuff around you, and there's now a time for regeneration. There's time for a rebirth with yourself, with your rebirth with your spirituality. And I think also that you've been waiting. I just get this feeling from the card and sense it as well spiritually that you've been waiting for an outcome, okay? And you've been waiting for an answer. And that answer has firmly now come through. And it seems to me the Winter's End, as you can see from here, it says that the outcome will be positive. As if I can get it to thing. So that's a wonderful card for you. Okay, it means that there's going to be rebirth, regeneration, and a positive outcome for you. So thank you very much for donating. There's a link in the in the comment section on the side if you would like to make a donation. Wonderful card, wonderful positive stuff for you there, Catherine. I hope that makes sense for you. And certainly, thank you for your support this evening. We're getting towards 10 o'clock, and I'm always conscious that that's the time we said we would finish, and that's the time we will finish at 10 o'clock. So I would like to say absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for taking the time to be with us this evening, Swami. I know you're doing a lot of stuff at the moment, and I think that you've got a few events coming up that some people here may be interested in, or if they're watching it back, maybe. So if you could tell us a little bit about, some of the pilgrimages and things that you've going on at the moment.
We have a pilgrimage for the Michaelmas pilgrimage, which is set around St Michael's Mount here in the Bay of Penzance, Cornwall. And it's a pilgrimage we do every year for the Archangel Michael, and we use St Michael's Mount, and we go there. And we also have a lovely Christmas one on the 8th and 9th of December, which is when we really attune and we work with the light of Christ and remember the birth of Christ within ourselves. And we also, with the Michaelmas, we go out in nature and we go to the sacred sites, and we also go to St Michael's Mount itself. So it's a lot happening.
There's a wonderful image that I had of Swami and some of the information about that. I'm going to hold it on the screen now because
it's on my World Peace Mission webpage or kriyayoga.org.uk.
And that is perfect because
if you want to book through the Queen's Hotel, Penzance.
Well, I think I've got preferential rates there now. I think because I love Penzance. It's a place my dad used to take me when we were kids. That was the furthest we used to go away. It felt as if it took about 8 days to get there.
Yes,
and it probably did in the cars my father bought. So it did take a while, but it holds so many Land's End and Mousehole and all those places.
That's where I was born. 5
Oh, well,
months.
there we are. See, we were meant to connect there and then. So I've left the image up because for the wonders of technology, that there is a website on the bottom, and I'm sure,
marvelous.
and I'm sure we can.
Thank you.
I'd love to come on one of your pilgrimages, and please, one day we'll make it happen. I just want to say,
Kriya yoga as well.
well, yeah, 100%. I really enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure having you. I'm so glad that we managed to get over the little technical hitches. But just to let you know that people appreciate the work that you're doing and this type of environment. Simon wants to say thank you. He's really enjoyed it. Kerry Palmer says that was really lovely evening with the both of you. Love that place. So obviously where you are. And Jackie said that's the quickest hour ever. Thank you so much, both. Fabulous evening. Thank you both. Namaste. And Catherine, who I did the reading for, she said, thank you so very much.
Very much.
So I hope that made sense. So on behalf of myself, I want to thank everybody for being here and thank you for your comments, because without people participating, this show isn't possible. But I bow down. I'm not worthy. Thank you very much, Somi.
Thank you, thank you, darling.
Let's keep talking. It's been wonderful.
Wonderful. Blessings on your work, my love.
Thank you very much. Take care now, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. And that's it for another show of That's the Spirit. From me, Julian Jenkins, I want to say be love and give love. And I'll see you next week. Thanks very much.